I am Jarvis, your storyteller. Welcome to the Science Fiction Exploration. If you like the story, please subscribe to our channel.
The First Contact. The crystalline spires of the Zor-K mothership gleamed against the black backdrop of space, its intricate biomechanical hull pulsing with an ethereal blue light. Commander Voke Nerez stood at the primary observation deck, his six-fingered hands clasped behind his back, for eyes scanning the distant mining colony of Meridian Prime. Meridian was nothing more than a resource-rich asteroid belt, strategically positioned in the outer rim of the Centauri sector. To the Zor-K Empire, it was merely another conquest, another footnote in their centuries-long expansion across the galaxy. What Commander Nerez didn't realize was that this seemingly insignificant outpost would challenge everything he understood about warfare, survival, and intelligence. The colony's initial scans revealed a modest human presence, roughly 3,000 miners, engineers, and support personnel. Standard protocol dictated a swift and decisive engagement. The Zor-K had conquered civilizations far more advanced, far more numerous. These humans would be no different. Junior Navigator Krell, a young Zor-K with iridescent scales and cybernetic implants, interrupted the commander's contemplation. Preliminary reconnaissance complete, sir. Defense systems are primitive. Our electromagnetic disruptors will neutralize their technological infrastructure within moments. Commander Nerez nodded, his secondary set of eyelids sliding closed momentarily, a gesture of contemplation among his species. Prepare the initial assault wave. Minimal casualties. We require the mineral deposits intact. What the Zor-K didn't comprehend was the nature of human resilience, a quality that couldn't be measured by traditional military algorithms or predictive combat models. On Meridian Prime, Dr. Finn Rodriguez watched the alien ships approach through the reinforced observation dome of the central mining complex. His weathered hands, calloused from decades of geological work, gripped the control panel with an unexpected calmness. Around him, a diverse crew of miners, engineers, and technicians moved with a synchronized precision that betrayed years of working in one of the most challenging environments humanity had ever colonized. Incoming vessels, announced Elena Kowalski, the colony's chief of security. Her voice was steady, almost conversational. Looks like we've got uninvited guests. Finn's lips curled into a slight smile. Uninvited, but not unexpected. The human colonists of Meridian had long known they were operating on the frontier of explored space. They were not naive explorers or helpless victims. Each individual here had been carefully selected, not just for their technical expertise, but for their ability to adapt, to survive, to overcome. The first wave of Zor-K assault pods breached the colony's outer perimeter. Their advanced weaponry should have been overwhelming. Electromagnetic pulses designed to disable electronic systems fired with precision. But something unexpected happened. Nothing stopped. The mining complex's systems, cobbled together from recycled and modified equipment, continued to function. Each system had multiple redundancies, each network was decentralized, each critical function had a manual override. Commander Nerez watched in growing confusion as his tactical display showed anomaly after anomaly. The human colony's response defied every predictive model in the Zor-K combat database. Impossible, muttered Krell, fingers frantically recalibrating targeting systems. Inside the mining complex, Dr. Rodriguez turned to Elena. Looks like our homebrew system modifications are paying off. Elena's hand rested casually on her modified mining laser, a weapon that could cut through reinforced rock could just as easily cut through alien assault armor. They're about to learn that nothing works quite like human ingenuity. The first contact between the Zor-K Empire and the humans of Meridian Prime was about to become a lesson in the unexpected, a confrontation that would challenge everything both species thought they knew about survival, technology, and the true meaning of intelligent adaptation. Little did Commander Nerez know, this was just the beginning of a conflict that would reshape galactic understanding forever. The Siege of Meridian. The initial shock of the human colony's resistance reverberated through the Zorek command structure like a seismic tremor. Commander Voke Nerez spent the next solar cycle analyzing the tactical data, his 4 eyes narrowing with each review of the failed assault. Inside the mining complex, Dr. Finn Rodriguez convened an emergency strategy meeting. The colony's conference room was a testament to human adaptability, walls lined with recycled equipment, displays cobbled together from salvaged parts, each piece telling a story of survival and innovation. "They'll be back," Finn announced to the assembled team. Elena Kowalski stood by his side, her security team already implementing defensive modifications to their mining equipment. Kai Chen, the colony's chief engineer, rolled out a holographic display of the asteroid belt. "Our primary advantage is our infrastructure," he explained. His fingers danced across the projection, highlighting the complex network of tunnels and emergency shelters they'd built over years of mining operations. The Zorek's second assault came precisely 36 hours after their initial failure. This time, they approached with a more calculated strategy. Smaller assault pods, designed to penetrate deeper into the colony's defenses, began their approach. What they didn't anticipate was the humans' preparation. Each mining laser had been recalibrated into a potential defensive weapon. The colony's ventilation systems, initially designed to filter out mineral dust, were now modified to create localized electromagnetic interference. Underground passages that once transported ore now served as intricate defensive networks. Commander Nerez watched in growing frustration as his tactical displays showed repeated failures. His second-in-command, Sub-Commander Lyriel, suggested a more aggressive approach. "We could initiate a full-scale orbital bombardment," she proposed, her voice clinical and detached. Nerez hesitated. The mineral deposits were valuable, destroying them would defeat their primary objective. On Meridian, the siege became a test of human innovation and psychological resilience. Elena Kowalski had transformed the mining complex into a fortress. Each miner was now part of an integrated defense system. Their daily work of extracting resources from an unforgiving asteroid belt had prepared them for precisely this type of sustained challenge. Kai Chen's most brilliant innovation was a series of adaptive communication networks. Using modified mining equipment, they created a decentralized communication system that could not be jammed or disrupted. Each section of the colony could operate independently, yet coordinate seamlessly. "They're trying to break our communication," Kai explained to a group of younger colonists helping with the defense preparations. "But we've been communicating in challenging environments for years. This is just another technical problem to solve." The Zorek assault pods attempted multiple penetration points. Some targeted the colony's primary power generators, others focused on communication arrays. Each attack was met with an unexpected response: redirected energy systems, alternative communication channels, defensive countermeasures that seemed to anticipate their every move. Dr. Rodriguez watched the defensive maneuvers with a mixture of pride and calculated concern. "We're not just defending," he told Elena. "We're teaching them a lesson about human adaptability." Sub-Commander Lyriel reported to Commander Nerez with increasing frustration. "Their defensive capabilities defy our computational models. It's as if they're learning and adapting in real time." Nerez understood something profound was happening. These humans were not merely defending, they were evolving their strategy with each moment of the conflict. As the siege continued, the true nature of human resilience began to emerge. What the Zorek saw as a simple resource extraction colony was, in fact, a microcosm of human potential, a community where every individual was both a specialist and a generalist, ready to adapt, survive, and overcome. The battle for Meridian had become more than a military engagement. It was becoming a philosophical confrontation that would challenge everything the Zorek thought they knew about intelligence, survival, and the nature of technological adaptation. And they were just beginning to understand the true meaning of human determination. Breaking point. The siege of Meridian had entered its third standard week, transforming from a military engagement into a profound psychological confrontation. Commander Voke Neres paced the bridge of his mothership, the once pristine command center now showing signs of unprecedented stress. Sub-Commander Lyriel's latest report was a testament to their mounting frustration. "Our computational models are failing," she stated, her voice stripped of its usual clinical detachment. "The human colony continues to adapt faster than our predictive algorithms can calculate." Deep within the Meridian colony, Dr. Finn Rodriguez understood the true nature of their resistance. During a strategy meeting with Elena Kowalski and Kai Chen, he outlined their most critical advantage. "We're not just defending," he explained, tracing complex network diagrams on a holographic display. "We're evolving." Kai nodded, pointing to a series of modified mining drones. What were once tools for extracting minerals had been transformed into an intricate defensive network. Each drone now served multiple purposes: reconnaissance, communication relay, and potential weapon platform. The Zor-AK had miscalculated fundamentally. They viewed conflict through a rigid lens of technological superiority and hierarchical command structures. The human colony operated differently, a living, breathing organism where every individual was both a specialist and a potential leader. Elena Kowalski had become the embodiment of this adaptive strategy. Her background in colonial security merged seamlessly with the mining colony's survival instincts. She had transformed miners into a cohesive defensive unit, each person cross-trained in multiple disciplines. "They're going to attempt a concentrated assault," Elena announced during a colony-wide briefing. "And we're going to turn their strategy against them." Commander Neres's frustration reached a breaking point. The mineral-rich asteroid belt that should have been a simple conquest had become a nightmare of unexpected resistance. Junior Navigator Krell developed a radical proposal, a concentrated electromagnetic pulse designed to overwhelm the colony's systems. What the Zor-AK didn't realize was that the humans had already anticipated such a move. Kai Chen had developed a revolutionary defensive system. Instead of trying to protect their entire infrastructure, he created a modular approach. Critical systems were designed to be temporarily disconnected, with manual overrides and mechanical backups that could function without electronic support. When the Zor-AK launched their concentrated electromagnetic assault, something extraordinary happened. Instead of disrupting the colony, the pulse revealed the depth of human ingenuity. Backup systems activated. Mechanical relays switched on. Communication continued through a network of modified mining lasers that could transmit data through light pulses. What should have been a decisive blow became another lesson in human adaptability. Dr. Rodriguez watched the assault with a mixture of scientific curiosity and strategic calculation. "They're trying to break us," he told a group of young colonists assisting in the defense. "But breaking isn't the same as defeating." Sub-Commander Lyriel reported to Commander Neres with growing uncertainty. The humans were doing something unprecedented. They were learning from each assault, adapting their strategies in real time, treating the entire conflict as a continuous problem-solving exercise. The breaking point was approaching, but not in the way the Zor-AK had anticipated. Their technological superiority was being systematically dismantled by something far more powerful: human creativity, resilience, and an unbreakable spirit of collective survival. As the conflict escalated, it became clear that Meridian was more than just a mining colony. It was a crucible of human potential, a living demonstration of how adaptation, collaboration, and innovative thinking could transform seemingly insurmountable challenges into opportunities for growth. The Zor-AK were about to learn that true intelligence was not about technological complexity, but about the ability to adapt, to learn, and to persist against all odds. And Meridian was just the beginning. The diplomatic crucible. The prolonged siege of Meridian had transformed from a military conflict into something far more complex. Commander Voke Neres found himself in uncharted territory, a situation that defied all his years of military training and computational strategy. In an unprecedented move, the Zora-K High Command authorized direct communication with the human colony. Not as a prelude to surrender, but as an attempt to understand the unprecedented resistance they had encountered. Dr. Finn Rodriguez was selected as the primary negotiator, a choice that surprised many within the colony. Elena Kowalski and Kai Chen prepared extensive contingency plans, understanding that this communication was as much a strategic maneuver as a potential path to resolution. The first communication came through a carefully constructed quantum entanglement channel, a technology both species had developed independently. Commander Nerez appeared as a holographic projection in the colony's main conference room, his 4 eyes blinking in a pattern that suggested both curiosity and barely contained frustration. "Explain," Nerez demanded, his translator rendering the words in perfect, clinical English. Dr. Rodriguez met the alien commander's gaze without flinching. "Explain what? Our survival? Our resistance? Our ability to adapt?" The conversation that followed was unlike any diplomatic exchange in galactic history. It was a profound exploration of fundamental differences in perception, intelligence, and survival. Nerez revealed the Zora-K perspective, a civilization that viewed expansion as a mathematical inevitability. Resources were to be acquired, systems to be integrated, resistance to be calculated and overcome. Their entire societal structure was built on predictive models and hierarchical efficiency. Rodriguez countered with a distinctly human narrative. "Survival isn't about efficiency," he explained. "It's about creativity. It's about finding solutions where no solution seems possible." Kai Chen demonstrated this philosophy practically. He shared schematics of how their mining equipment had been transformed, each piece of technology modified multiple times, each system designed with layers of adaptability. What the Zora-K saw as random modifications, humans viewed as continuous innovation. Elena Kowalski represented the human spirit of collective action. She explained how every colonist was trained in multiple disciplines, how their survival depended on each individual's ability to think beyond their specific role. Junior Navigator Krell, listening to the communication, began to understand something profound. The human resistance wasn't just about technology, it was about a fundamental approach to existence. Subcommander Lyriel found herself challenging her own preconceptions. The computational models that had guided Zora-K strategy for centuries seemed inadequate in the face of human unpredictability. The diplomatic exchange revealed deeper truths. The Zora-K had conquered numerous civilizations, but they had never encountered a species that viewed challenges as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles to be eliminated. "We don't just survive," Dr. Rodriguez explained. "We transform. Every challenge is a chance to become something more." Commander Nerez realized something that would reshape Zora-K understanding forever: intelligence was not about predictive accuracy, but about adaptability. The humans of Meridian had demonstrated a form of intelligence that transcended technological complexity. As the communication continued, it became clear that the siege of Meridian was more than a military conflict. It was a collision of philosophical approaches to existence, a moment that would challenge fundamental assumptions about intelligence, survival, and potential. The Zora-K came seeking resources. They discovered something far more valuable: a new understanding of what it meant to be truly adaptive. And Meridian was just the beginning of that discovery. Transcendence. The diplomatic breakthrough at Meridian marked a turning point not just for the human colony in the Zora-K Empire, but for interstellar understanding itself. What began as a potential annihilation had transformed into something unprecedented: a mutual recognition of different forms of intelligence. Commander Voke Nerez made a decision that would be recorded in Zora-K historical archives as the most radical moment in their species' expansionist history. Rather than continue the assault, he proposed a collaborative mission, a joint exploration of the very asteroid belt that had been the initial point of conflict. Dr. Finn Rodriguez, Elena Kowalski, and Kai Chen understood the profound nature of this opportunity. The Meridian colony would become more than a mining outpost, it would be a bridge between civilizations. The first joint expedition revealed the true potential of combined human creativity and Zora-K technological precision. Junior Navigator Krell worked alongside Kai Chen, developing hybrid technologies that neither species could have conceived independently. Their communication transcended language, becoming a nuanced dance of problem-solving and mutual respect. Subcommander Lyriel discovered something equally transformative. The human approach to collective problem-solving challenged everything she understood about organizational structures. Where Zora-K society was hierarchical and rigid, human teams operated like living, breathing ecosystems, each member capable of leadership, adaptation, and innovation. Elena Kowalski led the first cross-species training programs. She demonstrated how human survival skills, developed through generations of adapting to harsh environments, could be systematically taught. The Zora-K learned more than technical skills, they learned a fundamentally different approach to challenges. The asteroid belt itself became a metaphor for their new relationship. What was once a battlefield was now a collaborative research zone, with mining operations that combined human ingenuity and Zora-K technological precision. Kai Chen's most remarkable innovation was a new form of adaptive technology, systems that could fundamentally reorganize themselves based on changing environmental conditions. It was a technology born from the human's experience of survival, refined through the Zora-K's computational capabilities. Commander Neres reflected on the transformation. The Zora-K had conquered countless civilizations, believing technological superiority was the ultimate measure of intelligence. Meridian had taught them a different lesson, that true intelligence was about adaptation, creativity, and the ability to see potential where others saw only obstacles. The human colonists had not just survived. They had transformed a potential extinction event into an opportunity for mutual understanding. As the first joint research vessel prepared for its maiden voyage, Dr. Rodriguez addressed the assembled human and Zora-K crew. "We didn't just change a conflict," he said, his words translated across species. "We expanded the very definition of what it means to be intelligent." Junior Navigator Krell, standing beside him, added a Zora-K perspective that would have been unimaginable weeks earlier. "Survival is not about conquest," he stated. "It's about understanding." The Meridian colony became more than a settlement. It became a symbol of what was possible when different species approached each other with curiosity instead of fear, with openness instead of aggression. In the vast darkness of space, a new kind of exploration had begun, not of territories to be conquered, but of potential to be understood. And humanity had proven, once again, that its greatest strength was not in its technology, but in its ability to transform, to adapt, and to connect.